Yay, construction zone. Gravel. But she's pretty hard packed. And not too much traffic. So we'll just take her easy. Hopefully not for too long. Wonder how far this goes for. Like, what would you do if you're going to do the Labrador Trail? It'd be like 500 kilometers of this. Keep your arms relaxed. The tire doesn't slip as much as you think. It just kind of rolls around a bit. Now I got to get over for him. Just make sure I don't slip on the thick stuff. I like being kind of in the center when it's like this. It just seems to be the flattest and least gravelly area. Of course, you can't do that when cars are coming. So he's dumping water on it. That's going to make it even more fun. Just to add to the challenge, you know, let's take it to the next level. Oh, for sakes. Now I got to get over somehow. Mr. Water Guy. Let's just make it muddy too. Well, could be raining. I just made it through about 20 kilometers of it. It started out okay, wasn't bad, it was kind of hard packed, but then it just kept getting softer and softer. And as they hit where the construction guys were working, for about 2-3 kilometers, it was just like thick, soft stuff. My arms are just shaking from holding so tensely and carefully, and I know you're supposed to relax and all, but like I said, I haven't got good tires on. I have got a lot of weight on the back. I'm just not set up for that. For the most part, it's been pretty good. I mean, there's been potholes and crappy areas, but you can tell they are working on it. And then there's like stretches of good stuff like this. This isn't bad at all. If I wasn't driving, I'd say I need a shot of whiskey after that. Just thank God I didn't go any further. It was like about 20 clicks of that. Felt like it anyway. I wasn't really watching. Probably wasn't. Anyway, we're back at the Great Open on the smooth paved roads. I know there's adventure bike guys out there that just go to areas that it's nothing but roads like that. But you know, they got better tires, they got more experience. They probably still have a load on the back, maybe not quite as heavy as mine, but they'll still have a load on the back, and they just blow through it. But I guess it's not my forte. I didn't grow up on dirt bikes. I grew up riding on roads like this, and I'll go as far as to say I'm damn good at riding on roads like this. Great driver, maybe not the best navigator, but I'm a great driver. But yeah, the off-road stuff is tough, even on a bike that's all about off-road. That's why I'm thinking of it won't be my last bike, and I'm probably going to go to a version of this that's designed for sport touring. But then I bet when I hit zones like that, it's going to be even harder to get through. But we'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it. And you can see here, I guess, and I always think of history when I think of a place like this. The oldest country, the first Europeans, this is pretty much the first land they saw, at least when it comes to Canada. And they thought this was the continent when they first came. They didn't realize that this was just an island and that there's a whole continent beyond it. And I guess to the eyes of the first explorer to set foot on here, besides the Aboriginals, he looked at it, and I bet you what he saw was miles and miles of farmland. And they probably thought that was just the cat's ass. It's like, look at all this farmland. We could have huge farms. We could have space for people to populate and spread the empire and all that. But in the end, you know, here we are like 400 years later, and there ain't no farms. And that's because you could see all the rocks in the soil. It's rocky. It's all rocks, rocky and marshy. And there really isn't no topsoil. There's like barely a couple inches of topsoil. It's just rocks and schmuck underneath that. And you just can't grow crops on it. It can grow grasses and scrub. And probably the weather's not best for farming either. It's always cold and rainy and harsh winters, and I think that's why no trees grow here. It just can't support it. Like what we're looking at today is an unusually clear and mild day, and I'm very lucky and thankful for that. But for the most part, and anyone that lives here will tell you that this is not the norm. And the norm is foggy, rainy, stormy, cloudy, cold, or winter. And so it was probably just too hard to try and settle and start like a farm here. Even when the first Vikings came, they barely got a few small villages made, and even they left. It was just, it just doesn't work. Land for settlement. And that little off the grid cabin there. I mean, you got to really enjoy being away from it all to live out here, because there's just nothing. Another 20 kilometers of this. Boy, I picked a great road, didn't I? Let's try standing. Standing feels a little bit less like you're gonna slip. I don't know why that is, but I can't stand forever. But it's gonna enable me to get a few more kilometers down this way, so we can get back to the pavement, till my legs give out. But it does seem to help. I haven't tried it on the real loose stuff. Oh, frig. How much more of that are we gonna have to do? Just not a gravel guy, what can I say? Get myself a sport touring bike and forget gravel, man. I don't know how the guys on the other bikes are doing it. It's probably pretty hard for them. This is Bear Cove. There's an interpretive site here somewhere, but I don't know where exactly. I don't know. If that's it, it's hard to tell. A couple little... love these little shacks in nowhere. People they just want a little hidey, off the grid kind of place. Right on the water. They don't look well maintained, but I think that's the point. I think they want it to be rustic like that. They don't want it to be this fixed up retired folks home. Ah, some beautiful coastline here. Looks nice. I wonder if I could have took that road up there for a nice view. Oh well. We just stopped for a nice view. It's a nice river just emptying into the ocean. So this be Renews. Little coastal town of Renews. Heading up the coastline on the east coast. Can't get any more east of Canada than this. Unless you want to call it St. John's, I don't know. I'm not saying the absolute geographical farthest east point, but we are on the east coast. We got a nice waterway here. The windmills aren't flying real heavy, so that's how I can tell the winds aren't that bad. That's good. There's ferry meeting. A couple of people pulled out of that provincial park and asked me if they were going the right way, and it looks like I pointed them the right way, because I remember seeing a sign that said 100 clicks to ferry meeting or something like that. So I knew we weren't that far. There's been quite a few signs. I just passed another one now saying that this particular route that I've been taking is called the Irish Loop. So if you're looking it up, it's the Irish Loop. And it's what's doing the whole sort of southeast and east side of the island. Coming into Fairyland. This is Fairyland, and just starting to feel a little bit hungry. Certainly still quite early in the day for the amount of distance I've got to go. Like, I have maybe 100 kilometers to go, and it's only 11:15, so if I can find a little nice place to stop, maybe I'll have a cup of coffee somewhere. If they're not able to provide coffee, I'll have a cup of tea. There's another interpretive site. I always see the sign for the interpretive site, but I never see the interpretive site. They got to put a sign for the interpretive site at the interpretive site. This is a problem. But let's see if we can find anything here. Oh, can't turn the camera off. Too scenic. I was looking for a nice little place to have a coffee on a patio. Would be awesome, but I don't know if they provide anything like that here. We're still in small coastal town land. I'm sure once I get up around St. John's, there'll be all kinds of stuff. But then it's going to be city as well. It's not going to be like this. Now, what's that place down there? So I see picnic tables and stuff, but I don't really want to do the picnic table thing. County of Avalon Visitor Center. I don't know. That looked like it could have been like a little bar or something. Geez, how do I get turned around here? This is just too frickin' hilly for me. Wow, pretty nice. Pretty nice. I might see if I can get turned around and go down there. Let's try right here. Of course, somebody on my ass. Always somebody on my frickin' ass. Get off my ass. I didn't know if someone else coming too.